Guys, it is time to talk about DLC Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and this is going to be a very interesting video. So just to recap for a second, I published a video yesterday where there was a very interesting leak about the possibility of having DLC 6 as Super. This was actually released and published by DBS Chronicles. He said in his tweet that the next DLC package could be Super or GT, and then he actually confirmed this information with a reply to someone else, and it said the following: it is Super, by the way. So this is DBS Chronicles just releasing a very interesting statement. Now, DBS Chronicles is a well-known person in like Dragon Ball news sphere. Basically, as you can see here, this person has been publishing and releasing information for a long time, as you can see here. So he's not a random person who just publishes stuff for, you know, for the fun of it. He's actually publishing things which he knows about and has insider knowledge, okay, which is really important. So that leads us to the biggest question, guys. So we are getting Super as DLC 6. What is it going to be, guys? In this video, let me talk to you guys why I believe that we are going to get the Universe 6 Saga. That's right, Universe 6, which is going to be, of course, with the tournament of Universe 6. I don't have a proper picture here, to be honest. I'm trying to find one here. But anyway, so obviously it's all about Hit, all about Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue fighting in that tournament. And oh, here we go. So this is the, of course, the promotional picture, right, in terms of the Saga. Why this is going to be, guys, there's a couple of very fundamental reasons why this is going to be the case. So reason number one is that first and foremost, we already are going to get the tournament mode in DLC 5. The 23rd Budokai Tenkaichi is going to be available. So by continuing that trend, the tournament mode is going to have in DLC 5 ground combat. Ground combat can then, guess what, be implemented as well in the Universe 6 Saga, because the Universe 6 Saga is all about the tournament, right? Now, that's obviously one of the first reasons. The next reason is because the actual Universe 6 has a lot of content to it, whereas other sagas like Broly, for example, is just basically a couple of fights, and that's pretty much it. This one is not, guys. So the plot is quite thick, because first of all, we have the Tournament of Destroyers announcement and the Tournament of Destroyers event. So the announcement, actually there's lots of events happening there, there's training happening there, there's like, so you can build into this basically a lot of like side quests, a lot of training missions, a lot of content, a lot of story content to build up for that particular tournament, right? And then in the actual tournament, leading up to the events of the tournament, we have, of course, Goku needs to find people to fight with. So of course he's gonna fight against them, and you know, once he wins, they get to his side. So it's really cool because you have to recruit them together to reach this particular team, right? Next we have the fight. So there's a lot of fights. We have first Goku versus Botamo, then we have match 2 Goku versus Frost, then we have the next one Piccolo versus Frost, we have Vegeta versus Frost, we have Vegeta versus Ota Vegeta, all right. Then we have Vegeta versus Kaba. Then we have Vegeta versus Hit. And then we have Goku versus Hit. So we have a ton of fame. Monaka versus, obviously this is just like a joke fight, obviously this doesn't really happen, but basically we have a ton of fights here, guys. So it's really cool because they can flesh it out so much, and they can even like obviously put their spin onto it and maybe add a bit more fights into it, who knows, potentially, right? So because there's so many fights happening, there's so many new characters, the story can be enhanced massively, okay, in this particular DLC. So there's a lot for them to take forward from, right? So that's another reason why this is really important. You want a DLC which is gonna give you a lot of beefy stuff to talk about. For example, like Bardock, the story of Bardock was quite deep. It had lots of stuff in it, right? Whereas Broly just doesn't have that enough to sustain a DLC pack for like 5-6 hours. It just doesn't have it, right? Now, the next and final reason why this is going to be the super content for me, from my point of view, is because this one is much more suited from a game standpoint in terms of the story, okay? Because we know that, for example, like before that, we already got the DLC pack 1 and 2, which was the God of the Universe Saga, God of Destruction Beerus, Golden Frieza Saga. So actually we got this stuff already in the game. We got this stuff already in the game as the DLC packs 1 and 2 of Season Pass 1, okay? and then we have that, so it makes just perfect sense why you would get this and not the future Trunks saga, because the future Trunks saga actually happens after the events of Universe 6. Many people think it's the other way around, but it's actually not. The first event, in the first major event in Super, is the Universe 6 saga, okay? I mean, you can call it Golden Frieza as well, I guess, major one, but we already got that one as DLC. So this is like the first proper big one where there's like other characters and all stuff, and then after this we get, of course, the future Trunks saga. Now the future Trunks saga, I highly doubt they're going to jump onto this one because there's just too many new characters who would just kind of like show up out of the blue. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not cohesive enough. Doesn't make any sense, guys. So to be honest, from my point of view, this is what's exactly going to happen. We are going to get the Universe 6 saga, and it just ties in so well together with the whole tournament mode, with the new characters, and obviously you already have Goku Super Saiyan Blue, you have Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue transformations, so it's so easy to actually like just enhance them a bit more, give them ground combat skills, for example, and that's it. So literally you all set. And then with this, guess what? They can then enable a tournament mode after this where you can play with the current characters, so you don't have to just play with the Dragon Ball characters, because right now in DLC 5, I'm pretty sure even if they're going to enable a tournament mode post story, it's not gonna be with the current characters, that's in the main story characters. But with this one, because Goku and Vegeta are going to be continuing from the main story, as in DLC Pack 2, where they have the blue transformation, then you can obviously play the tournament mode afterwards. It would make sense, right? And it will be really cool. So from my point of view, guys, this is what makes perfect sense. Broly would not make any sense because, like I said before, the Broly story is very short. The Broly story in the movie is super short. You only have 2 fights basically, Goku versus Broly, Vegeta versus Broly, and then obviously Gogeta versus Broly, which is like the fusion, but it's very short. There's not much to it. There's no substance, there's no build up, there's literally nothing to it to kind of justify an actual DLC pack. Maybe that one is worth like to be part of a DLC pack. So for example, that one combined with a different one, that's fine, but Broly standalone just doesn't make any sense. Simple as that. So guys, really excited about this, to be honest. I cannot wait. I do hope that they are going to give this to us rather earlier than later, to be honest, because I really want to play this year, hopefully. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I do believe that what they're doing now with Kakarot is that they're going to test the waters and see what's going to be the people's reaction to super content. So then when they release Dragon Ball Super Kakarot eventually, maybe like in 2, 3, 4 years, who knows, then they know that what does their target market audience likes. Okay, quite simple. And of course they can make improvements and like learn from the development of the DLCs which are happening right now. So guys, that's it for today's video on this one. Quite excited, to be honest, cannot wait. Now, of course, we still don't have any news about the DLC 5 release date. We're still waiting for it. I was expecting it to come at some point in May, but it's not happening, so I have no idea what's going on, to be honest. I do hope that we're gonna see it at least before the end of May, because otherwise, like, when the hell is this gonna come out? It just doesn't make any sense, right? But let them take their time, let them develop this, because we really want them to basically make sure that they are 100% spot on. That's the most important part, right? To be quality and polished. So we don't want any of the crap which we had recently with Redfall, for example, which got released on the Game Pass, which was just completely dog shit and it runs really bad. Okay, we want games which are fully polished, and we know that CyberConnect 2 is always delivering in that aspect. So guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you later in the next one. Bye.